Archangel Michael, can I call your attention to something that I noticed within? Like, can you confirm if he has a robot sort of being within him that is attached to him from inside?
A robotic being attached where, please?
Inside him, like a whole body robot attached to him
Oh,
from inside?
curious.
Uh-huh. Like a head, and then, arms and hinges and panels.
Yes.
Do you sense it? And can you help him sense it and know what exactly that is? And so that he's in understanding of it as well, since it is his healing.
It is, and it seems to be an adaptation.
Hmm. Yes. Is it a full body?
At least its reach vibrationally is, yes.
Hmm. Yes. And what color is it?
Silver, pale silver.
Thank you for confirming. That's exactly how I saw it as well. And it's beautiful he's seeing it too. Now, I did notice that its eyes sort of just pop out like binoculars, like it's screening something, and then they go back, and it's like a computer where someone's just, watching how his life goes, perhaps almost like an experiment. Can you confirm how that relates to you and your understanding of it?
Curious integration.
Hmm. Yes. We'll find out where it came from, and we'll definitely remove it now. It's not a part of you organically.
Clever experimentation.
Yes.
Pity that such intelligence is wasted.
Yes, absolutely. Can we now start removing this robot being from him, Akira Michael?
Yes.
Okay,
Phoenix fire.
right. Let's do that now. Well, would you like us to place the symbol for archons around him and
Yes.
archonic energy, as well as can we also place? Can you place a symbol for implants with negative AI with consciousness in it? Does this robot have any bit of consciousness that we know that they do experiment and attach consciousness to make it look like it's organic? So can you check if there's consciousness that can be retrieved from it? We want to make sure that we don't transmit any consciousness that might be attached to it, someone else's life.
Hmm. A fractal of consciousness, yes.
Yes, thank you, because I'm just sensing a lot of sadness and pain for it being attached to this robot. Um, Archangel Michael, let's place a symbol there for negative AI with consciousness, and if you can please now retrieve the consciousness from this robot being. Thank you. The consciousness, is it a part of or another being somewhere?
Another being.
Hmm. If you can now, once you remove it, Archangel Michael, and you do it so beautifully. If you can attach it back to that being, wherever that being is, with the higher self's permission.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Archangel Michael, this robot being, as I have seen, Archangel Michael is aware, I have been working on removing them from several clients in raw sessions. It has hinges and circuit boards at various parts of his body. Um, should we just directly Phoenix fire it in the end, or do you suggest we do that now to remove this robot being?
Hmm.
Or you can slowly start dismantling it while we, you know, scan the rest of the body, talk to the reptilians, and then do it in the end.
This may take a while.
Yes.
Start dismantling, please.
Yes. Okay. Let's start sending Phoenix Fire now to all those hinges, the circuit boards, and wherever the robot is attached, however the robot is attached. And if I can have Archangel Michael's Legion of Light start doing that as well. I know that it takes some time to dismantle it, to remove it completely. And in the end, we will use the Phoenix Fire to remove it completely. Let's start work on it now.
This feels different.
Okay. Now, between his shoulder blades, the left shoulder blade and the right shoulder blade, it was really dense, a lot of activity, a lot of pain and sensations there. And then there was this, seemed like an armor, but it was all black and it was nailed in from the sides, left shoulder
Hmm.
blade and the right shoulder blade.
Wow.
And to think that's where his wings would start from, right?
Yes.
Hmm. Yes. So can we look, Archangel Michael, can you scan nicely and see what does he have on his shoulder blade? What is this black armor like looking attachment?
The black feels organic.
Okay. Can we please now place a symbol for negative AI with consciousness in it so we can retrieve the consciousness?
Yes.
Thank you. And does it go to the front as well, or is it just at the back?
Hmm. I feel like going from the back and around
Uh-huh.
and almost in a V to the heart, ending in the solar
Yes.
plexus. A strange thing.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yes, I also sensed that was going into his throat. It was affecting his throat a lot. So does it go there too?
Hmm.
Is it a portal?
Yes.
Okay. Let's close the portal too. I'm calling on Archangel Michael and the Legion of Light because it's pretty massive. Let's start sending. Has a consciousness been retrieved, Archangel Michael? You said it felt
Yes.
organic, so that's been removed. Okay. Now let's all start sending Phoenix Fire to start removing this from his shoulder blades and all the way from his throat down into the solar plexus. Thank you. Yes, I could feel a lot on his higher heart, so I guess that's what it is. That I was sensing. Is this a part of the robot? Is it
Yes.
connected to the robot?
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
Perhaps they use it. Do they use it to send in energies to the robot, or the more AI to it, or something like that?
To expantuate. Yes. Expantuate. To amplify. It
Mhm.
seems to be a device for
Yes.
such clever manipulation,
Yes.
for
That's right.
amplifying the pain and then redirecting it towards whichever portal it so chose to feed.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. We'll continue to remove that. We'll continue to remove the robot from there as well. Now, now at the center of the neck, I felt that there was perhaps the metal from the robot, but is it affecting him, or should we just wait to remove it completely later?
There's been progress in dismantling.
Uh-huh.
Would be good to remove.
Yes. Okay. Let's start sending Phoenix Fire also to. Should we remove the robot? Is that what you say?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let's. Can we please place symbols around him for archons and archonic energies and negative AI with consciousness? If we can place it around his energy field. And now we'd like to send Phoenix Fire just to this robot being and all of its attachments, including the circuit boards and the nuts and bolts and implants and portals that it's attached to, or portals that are attached to this robot. Thank you. Sending Phoenix Fire now. Also, if the Legion of Light, Archangel Michael, if your Legion can join in sending a Phoenix Fire too. Thank you.
Thank you, brothers and sisters.
Yes. Archangel Michael, while we're doing this, can you please explain to us when was this robot attached to him?
During the abduction or abductions,
Uh
it
huh.
seems to be plural.
Has he been abducted?
Yes,
Mhm. How many times?
I believe it is consistent with the recurrent nightmares.
Mhm. And when did he get these recurrent nightmares?
Immediately following his mother's mutilation and his dad's despair, perhaps for up to 6 months.
Hmm. That's what I was sensing as well. Archangel Michael, can you describe to me, help me understand? And it would be really helpful if you can explain this, since I've been working on these in many other clients, and I've been removing them in raw sessions where I telepathically talk to you. So when they're placed in a child, do they grow with the child? These robotic beings?
Hmm. They seem very, very amendable to adaptation.
Hmm.
Yes, I believe they grow with the physiology.
Hmm. And also, Archangel Michael, if you can explain, how are we doing with removing it completely? How's the progress there?
Near completion.
Okay, beautiful. We'll just keep channeling the love at Phoenix Fire till then. Now, Archangel Michael, for this archonic robotic being to be attached to someone, does a person have to be abducted and taken somewhere, or can it be done if they're like just sleeping in the bed or in their trauma um, in their homes?
This may be done etherically. It may be done to the essence while the body remains intact.
Hmm. You mean even if the person's physically in his own house, not abducted, but he's going through
Yes.
trauma and he's
Yes.
perhaps sleeping,
Hmm.
then
Well,
etherically,
it is certainly the dream spell. Yes.
uh-huh, and then etherically it can be attached to the person if the person's not shielded, of course.
Yes. If it's not shielded, and
Uh-huh.
if the terror paralyzes, yes,
If,
virtually nothing to impede it.
oh, if the terror paralyzes too, so terror and fear plays a large role in this, right?
Essential,
Essential role. Um,
much like the procuring of adrenochrome, it is the same
yes.
oxidating event with the adrenaline. It
Hmm.
allows it to transpire.
Yes. So it's etheric, but then does it just bring it into the physical body?
It is eventually realized, yes.
Hmm. Okay. And if we see it happening in many members of the same family, could it be that it was one trauma that led to everyone else getting the attachment as well? Because everyone was feeling the same trauma,
If the
members of the same
connections are
family?
strong and the karma is shared, sure, yes.
Hmm. Okay. If I may just take that down. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. That really helps. Okay. And then, of course, since this is also an experiment, um, are these people targeted on purpose for who they are, or is it just any person who's traumatized that they're looking out for?
A combination, certainly the opportunity first, and then what they may manipulate to their advantage second. It's simply an optimistic predication upon what is the potential from which they seek.
Mhm. Okay. Mm, what what has this robot being, or what does it do to these beings that they attach to? How does it affect them?
It seems an earlier version of the most recent implantations that were intended for uh, total eugenic transformation. It's simply an earlier model of the same creation.
Mhm. Okay.
But both seem DNA related.
Hmm. So we need to make sure that they also remove from the DNA, right? Their
Yes, please.
the
Yes.
impact needs to be removed from the DNA too. Yes, that's something I've been working on in those sessions too. Thank you. Um, and how does it impact these beings? Because here we are in the physical, and we have a soft body that we can move around, and then when something robotic is attached from within, how does it affect them? Emotionally, mentally, physically.
It nullifies their connection to source.
Hmm.
Therein is the opportunistic predation. Then it's wide open.
Hmm. Okay. And once they're removed, and if the person continues to shield no matter what they go through, can they still be protected from receiving an attachment as such?
The shielding done properly offers protection, but there are many layers to protection. Regaining connection to source, having faith in your love light, focusing on keeping your vibration high.
Mm-hmm.
This is layer upon layer upon layer of protection. The synergy is exponential and virtually unlimited. The combination is the greatest insurance of safety.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. How are we doing now for this being? Is it completely out?
Almost.
Okay, thank you. So let's keep working on that. Thank you. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about, I came to Michael, I had left it as a note to discuss it with the robot being. Looking at his sacral chakra, I had a question. And my question was, have there been experiments or studies on and his sacral chakra and his creations?
Yes.
Okay. When were they done? Were they a part of the abductions?
Yes.
Okay. Um, has there been any other harm upon him, his mind, body, and soul, and in all of his energy bodies? Has there been any other harm that we need to heal from these abductions?
When you unlock the key for
Hmm.
and the heart was no longer fragmented,
Hmm.
the essential parts were reclaimed. The integration began then.
Hmm.
That's when he started to reconnect.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. We want to make sure um, there's no trauma left from those abductions. Thank you for sharing that. Now,
The healing will occur in stages. It will not be immediate, but
mhm,
with dedication and constant amplification of his love light through dissolution, yes,
mhm, beautiful. Does he need to know anything at all about those abductions, or we're good there?
he already sees the pattern of abuse through generations. He understands the connection. He understands what actions are necessary for healing. And he is now going to be much more capable in self healing. I believe his confidence is going to increase along with its capacity for healing.
Beautiful. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael, one last question. For the abductions, do they just take them to a spaceship or do they take them to a planet? Where do they take them?
This was in a ship that was not necessarily extraterrestrial. It sometimes can be embedded within and simply part of what was negatively polarized by the reptilians and the archons. That pyramid shape for what is a ship was simply implanted into Gaia and then used for exploitative purposes of harvesting and manipulation.
Hmm.
But it was very, very much uh, negative polarized, manipulated, and simply implanted within Gaia for exploitation upon humanity. Very, very sinister, very devious, very clever.
Hmm.
I sense Antarctica being involved in this for the implantation, not so much as for so many sites there that are now being liberated.
Did you say, where did you say it is? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Oh, sure. Merely that there were so many sites there occupied that are now being liberated systematically. The moon is now reclaimed,
Yes.
but Antarctica and other areas are still, because of the fluidity of the
Uh-huh.
connections, are still being isolated and slowly dismantled systematically, methodically, and effectively.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. While we're working on that, is the robot gone completely, or what's the status there? Almost there?
Completed.
Completed. Beautiful. If you can start filling him with source
Thank you,
love
Ra.
light. Thank you, Roth. That was really massive. Thank you. Greetings, everyone. Thank you for being here. In the next section for this particular video update, I'm going to share a transcript of a part of an aura session that I did conducted a couple of months back. Perhaps it was in March, April, May, around that time. of a client that had a robot integration within her. And here's a transcript. So by now, the client has already had her past life experience, which was a beautiful high priestess role that she had in Lumerian times, if I'm not mistaken. And now we are in the body scanning section where Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael are the healing angels for the day. And they're the ones that are body scanning her along with me. And we are having this discussion about this integration where I again found another opportunity to ask them more questions about it. Um, Apart from this session and the one that I've shared, the one before this, I've had several sessions of Ra as well as Aura where there were clients that had more integrations, and I was waiting for a time when I could ask them more questions about it as the questions started downloading as well, since I got to know more about the robots over time. So here's what the conversation went like. This is me having a conversation with Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael together. So I'll just refer to them as archangels. So I say, can we scan her stomach, her intestines, to make sure that there are no portals? Any reptilians, any archons, AI, anything at all? Archangels? I feel like there's an AI, not in her heart, but in her chest, above her heart. Me. Okay, let's take a look. What kind of AI is it? Is it in her higher heart? Archangels? Yeah, it's trying to block her higher heart. Me. Let's take a look. I'm going to send source love light there. Tell me what it looks like, please. What does it look like? Archangels? Well, it just looks like one of those little robot dogs or something. Me. All right. Can you please encase it now? And then tell me, does it have any consciousness attached to it? This robot? Archangels? No. Me. Okay. Thank you for encasing it. I'm going to start sending Phoenix Fire to it now. Okay, Archangel Michael and Raphael, since we're speaking about this, and I thought I'd bring it up later, can you scan her and see, does she have a full body gray alien integrated into her? Archangels? Yes, she does. I'm going to turn off the fan, it's really noisy. Me. And is this gray alien integrated further into a robot that has been placed in her? Archangels? Yes. Me. Can you describe what this robot looks like? What is it made of and what is its color? Archangels? Well, it's like a greenish gray color. Me. Okay. Thank you. Can we now please encase her entire body in symbols that we have for archons, archonic energies, as well as an overlay with a symbol to contain negative AI with consciousness within it. Her entire body, please, encasing the gray alien, encasing the robot within it. Thank you. And Archangel Michael and Raphael, dear brothers, can you please take care of the gray alien on your own? Archangels, yes. And can you take it where it needs to go, depending on what kind of consciousness it is? Archangels, yes. Me, thank you. Is there any other consciousness attached to this robot? Any other organic consciousness? Archangels, no. Me, okay. Can we start sending Phoenix Fire to this robot now so that it is removed by the time we're done with the session? Archangels, yes. Me, okay. Always protecting the consciousness and ensuring the reptilians are safe and protected. And we will speak with the reptilians as soon as we have them all encased. I basically said this because these robots have reptilians attached inside of them. So they have many portals in different parts of their bodies. Specifically, the center column of the robot, which I realized later after many sessions, has like a column going down from the crown all the way down to the root chakra, and it sort of just spins, and almost all of them is like a portal. And the robot itself has reptilians hiding within it. And then I continue talking to them. All right, so we can start dismantling this robot, please. Can you dismantle this robot now, please? Archangels, yes. Me, thank you. Start dismantling it from its panels. Wherever it switches, please dismantle it so it stops functioning, and sending Phoenix Fire now into her entire body to start removing it. As you continue to work on this, if you may please call on the benevolent collective of dragons to help for this, if you like. Archangels, yes, let's do that. Well, the fire of the dragons, the dragon fire really helps in transmuting anything which is negative AI. And it's something that everyone can use with harm to none without overstepping any boundaries on a daily life as well. Have your dragons around you at all times. We all have dragons. It's time that we all connect with our dragons. So that's an easy way of really clearing your body every day. Scan your body and have your dragon, can you please check what's going on in my head? Can you help me? And they're just so happy to help all the time. So call them on anytime you need help. So we call on the dragons to join us. Me, thank you. Quickly wanted to check. I know you mentioned something in her ear, but this robot, does it have a cord going from its head all the way into the ether? Because I had seen it in the body scanning. Before our sessions, we perform energy healing on the clients prior to induction. And at that time, I was body scanning her. I body scan all my clients, and I had noticed there was a cord in her head going into the ether. Archangels, yes. Where is this cord going? Archangels, to the moon. Me, okay, can you send now? Please transmute that cord. We're going to remove the robot as well. Sending Phoenix Fire now to transmute this cord and this attachment from the source of this robot. When was this robot placed in her? Archangel's birth. Me, birth. What was going on at that time that allowed for this robot to be placed in her? Archangels, she's an experiment. Me, she was an experiment. Archangels, yes. Me, was it anything related to her mother? Because her mother was spiritually awake as well, all her life. Archangels, partially it was the mother and father. It was just a placement, part of her choosing as a soul, me. And to place this robot in her, was it placed while she was in the mother's womb or once she was birthed? Archangels, birthed. Me, was it done immediately after that or later? Archangels, immediately after birth. Me, how did they do it? Did they abduct her or did they do it etherically or any other way? Archangels, they abducted her. Me, and when they abducted her, where did they take her? Archangels, to the ship. Me, were there others that were abducted for the same experiment? Archangels, yes, there were many. Me, what percentage of human beings here on Earth have robots in them, Archangel Michael? I'm asking you this because, this is probably the 10th that I'm working on right now. And I only started seeing them in Feb or March this year. And this was pretty close to that date. Archangels, I would say about 75%. Me, wow, that's a lot. So tell me, how does this process go, Archangel Michael? Can you describe it to her so she can know what it is and continue to heal it? Archangels, basically, it's an AI program to instill energetic programs of suffering in family dynamics and self to keep you in lower vibrations, lower emotional states. That keeps families in loops, patterns of abuse and destructions, as you know. It seems complicated. It keeps the vibrations low for the reptilians. It's been a test. She was very high in her frequency. They didn't want her to be strong. They didn't want her to reach her full potential. Me, yes. Now I know that I've asked you some of these questions before in another session, but I would like to ask them once more so she knows what it is about as well. So once they place this robot in her, is that the time when they attach the gray, or the gray came in later, the gray alien? Archangels, no, they attach the gray then. Me, because I'm noticing sometimes they have a full body reptilian attached to the robot. This is the first time I'm seeing a gray alien attached to it. So, do they always have some sort of consciousness attached to it? Although we know that gray is like somewhat an in between with the consciousness. Archangels, they can do the gray or the reptilian. She was attached with the gray. They've been doing it with just the reptilians, but with her generation, they started doing the grays, which, most of the new kids are now connected to the gray aliens. And that's why they're so technologically advanced. They have a lot of AI in them. They're capable of connecting to AI. Me, grays? Grays are capable of connecting to AI, or you mean the new children? Archangels, both. Me. So are they continuing to place these robots in earthbound children? Archangels, yes. They're in lower programs, but they can connect with them through computers. They connect to them through the computers. They can put a gray alien in you when you use a computer. Of course, we are aware that we can shield, and once we shield and place our powerful intentions in not having any infringements within us, not allowing for any AI to attach, it is taken care of. But a lot of people are unaware of this. I'd like to repeat this line once again. I asked, so are they continuing to place these robots in earthbound children? Archangels, yes. They're in lower programs, but they connect them to computers. They connect to them through computers. They can put a gray alien in you when you use a computer. I'd like to add in bracket, if you're not shielded, you don't have your intentions. So those really help. Me, what happens, Archangels? You can be programmed through the computer or cell phones. Me, you mean it's like they charge the gray alien within. So, so if they've already placed a robot in a child and it has a gray alien attached to it, and the child uses a computer, they can put more programs into the gray alien that is within the child and make it smarter to act more like human but yet be AI, in a way like charging the gray. Archangels, yes. And they're also taking away some of the humanness from the children in doing so. Me, yes. And they're doing so. And they're doing anything to, are they doing, in doing so, are they doing anything to the souls of these children? The organic souls. Archangels, yes. Me, what are they doing? Archangels, it's killing their soul. But they don't know it because they don't know. They just don't know. That's what's going on. Because they're not aware. They're not connected to the God source because of all this AI. They're connected to the AI when all this is happening to them through the computers, through the games, through the AI that is inserted on them, into them at the time of birth. Me, what do these children behave like? What are their symptoms? Archangels, obsessions with computers and TV and video games. A lot of them want to live in video games. They just want to play video games all day, watch movies all day, watch TV all day. They have a hard time accessing life outside of themselves. I mean, it's all outside of themselves. Inside themselves is what I meant to say. But they don't like to. I mean, some of them might be okay playing outside a little bit, but they're obsessed with, like, they would, computers and video games, and some of them get caught in virtual realities. Me, yes. Archangels, alternate realities, and the virtual. They also have trouble with love and compassion or physical intimacy, these children, in expressing love. Me, you said 75% of humans. And what percentage of children on Earth right now have robots in them? Archangels, like about 40 to 45%. Me, I know that through the aura sessions, we are able to use the symbols and with the aid of the archangels, able to remove and dismantle these robots. Is there anything that we can do, Archangel Michael and Raphael, for the collective of children? Can we do a healing for them, disable these robots with the higher self's permission? Archangels, yes, that is possible. And if people who are trained to get together and meditate and do it at that level could do it for more and more. Although it's hard with the 5G and all the technology, that's why it was made, to hijack us. So, I mean, the more people that keep their kids away from technology or limit the use, the better. I mean, teach them to use it as a tool, but not always on it. That's what the Archangel said for technology. Me, thank you for sharing. And I know that I had asked this question earlier too. So it was placed in her as a child, but then does it grow with the physical body? Because what I saw was a full on robot and a full on gray body inside of her. Archangels, yes. So it's technically advanced to grow, programmed to grow. Archangels, yes, it can. Me, can it affect body functions? Because some of the clients that I met, they felt they had involuntary movements of the body. Archangels, yeah. Different ones have different things. And that's where some of them might have issues like overeating or drinking or over sex drive. They have trouble with emotions, how to deal with emotions. They don't know how to deal with their emotions. AI do not deal with emotions at all. So a lot of them turn to drugs and compulsive behaviors to not feel them, but they don't understand it. But there are also programs, negative programs to hinder their full growth, to keep them in a state of suffering. Me, is excessive anger in children also one of the symptoms? Archangels, it can be. Me, okay, thank you. Thank you for sharing. And if you can continue dismantling this robot, so that's it's done by the time you're done with the healing. And now continue to scan her. And then we just continue the body scan and healing the rest of her body. We found a lot of AI, including robotic arms, a lot of wires, hooks, panels. These robots have panels. They kind of look like the electric boards that we have, the fuse boxes in a house. They look like that. So the main switch would have that on the heart or the back of the neck, back of the head. And if you scan it with your eyes, you open it, you can see all the wires inside. Later on, we come back for a quick discussion about this again in Archangels. Well, some of the AIs within her is the grays, but see, they couldn't mix her with a reptilian because she has a dragon in her. So they mixed her with a gray. Me, that's correct. Thank you for confirming that because I was trying to see if the robot is attached to a reptilian and it was not. It was a gray in this particular case. Archangels, yeah. Me, thank you. Is she a fire dragon? Archangels, yes, she is. Me, beautiful. So we cleared her of the gray alien and the robot and all of the AI that was attached to her. And that was the end of the session post that. And in the next session that you're going to watch, post this, we go even more into detail as to how these are transplanted into people and basically visit the place of control where all this is being controlled and what is happening and how these people are treated that have these robots in them. And yes, that's all that I wanted to share about this particular session. Just knowing always that all of the information, everything that is being shared through the sessions is all coming from pure love and not fear. We are all self-empowered to heal ourselves. We all are healers. We are all alchemists. We all know how to turn anything which is negative AI and dark into love by using the magic of our source love that we can expand all around us. We can call on the aid of the archangels anytime we need assistance. Our high selves are always connected with us. We've never ever been disconnected from them, though the illusions of the negative AI matrix, as well as the entities within us, can try to trick us to think we are not connected. This is something which is very common most of the times, and most of the people coming for an aura session, one of the points that they almost always have is, I'm not connected to my higher self. Can you help me connect with my higher self? And the higher selves always say that they've always been connected, but they were just being given these false messages. And of course, there was AI within them, which was not letting them be their highest potential. And we all have potential and we all to heal ourselves because we're all healers. So let's go ahead and watch the next session as well. And I hope that this really helps you all in spreading more word about it. And we can all call for help from our archangels, our higher selves, and self-heal, because in the next session, the angels share more about how we can actually transmute and be rid of these robots and this AI within us on our own. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Love you all infinitely. Blessings. Have you landed on the ground?
Yes.
Beautiful. Do you feel you have a body here?
Yes. I feel like I'm an elephant, being like an elephant humanoid now.
Uh-huh.
It's like wearing like a tunic, like a burlap tunic. There's like this wheel thing. It's like a machine, but it's like not staying in the form of a wheel. It kind of does. It didn't dissolve, but it transformed too, and it's like there's beings on top of it. Like they seem like little, like furry animals, but they also seem like fire.
Mm-hmm. And where are these beings coming out of? These fire beings?
This wheel, this wheel, it's 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 like a machine. It seems like, but I don't know. Now it's like it's kind of shooting them out. But once they come out, I don't see where they go.
Mm-hmm. What color is the wheel?
It's orange and reddish.
What do these little fire animals look like? What do they remind you of?
Like little flames, but then they're kind of like little squirrels. But they're going so fast now that I can't even, I can't focus on them.
Mm-hmm. And what is your current form right now? Are you still an elephant being? You can see, sense, feel, and know everything very clearly. Look at your hands, look at your feet, look at your face. What do you look like and feel like?
It feels like a machine. Feels like I'm in a machine. There's like these rows of, there was rows are gone now, of like army. There's 2 rows of the elephant beings. It's gone now though.
You said that you saw rows of elephant beings and you also saw rows of, um, you were in a machine? You felt like you were in a machine?
Yeah, for a second, it felt like I was in a machine. Like I felt first I didn't have a body and I was just seeing it. And there was like it was like an army of elephants. And then when I like focused, I like went to like the eyes of the machine. Like that I was like able to move a machine. But that's gone now.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if those elephants were like that as well. Like something else inside of it, controlling it.
Mm-hmm. Let's move the scene along. Keep moving the scene along to the next significant, important event you need to experience for your highest good and highest healing. You're there now. Describe what you sense, see, feel, and know. You know it very, very, very clearly.
She looks like a giant and a giant machine. It's like it looks like a temple or a pyramid, but it's a machine. It can move.
Mm-hmm. Where are
It
you?
can,
Are you inside the machine or outside?
I'm outside.
Do you have a body form or are you in an energy form?
Still feel like I'm a dinosaur, but just smaller. It's really big. It's
What does this machine do?
feels like it's eating things. Yeah, it's like a lot of stuff's going into it. I can't really see if there's any like animals going into it, but it's like eat right now. It's just like eating a bunch of clouds, like sucking all the clouds into it.
Describe the machine. What does it look like and feel like?
Um, it looks like it did look like a pyramid, and then there was these pieces that could come out of it, like a kid's transformer, and so it's like it would pull part of the wall back and then like flip over, and then there'd be like another aspect to it that was inverted before, but then it like flips out. And then the
Mhm.
top of it's where it's eating the clouds. It's like a funnel, but then it also has like an aspect of like teeth.
These clouds, do they look like clean organic clouds?
Like, yeah, they are. They're like clouds.
Mhm. What happens next in this place, which has machines? You said it's there's like transformer-like type beings coming out of it. Do these
Yeah,
transformer-like beings have any consciousness in them, or are they just AI machines?
it's all part of the one machine. Like, nothing separates from it. So yeah, it's just, it doesn't have a consciousness that I can sense.
Hmm. What do these beings do? These transformer-like beings, when they come up, what do they do?
They're just part of it. It's what I originally saw is that it looked like the pharaohs like sitting in the chairs. Like when it flipped out, it looked like just like a statue of a pharaoh sitting in a throne. But then like it could flip back and just go back into the pyramid. I just saw like an insect being like drop a human really far. The human's falling down and it landed like it didn't die. And now the human just caught up. It's like an explorer. He's like wearing a hat. Explorer. And he's going a cave. And he goes in the cave. It's dark. There's a mountain in the cave. There's a light, a blue light on the top of the mountain. And there's these something's going up there. It, there's somebody sitting up there.
You can see and sense and feel, know everything very clearly. Describe who is sitting there. You can see it very clearly, very clearly.
Looks like an old man who's like hunched over, and he's like in like a sorcerer's, like a magician's outfit. He has a he has a staff. He has a cane staff thing. He has really long nails. He's some kind of monster. He turned into.
Does he have, what is the color of his body, of his skin?
It seems like he's like blue, but it might be just that he's like lighted up blue from the light.
Look into his eyes. The eyes are a window to the soul. What do you see in his eyes? Do you recognize his energy, his essence of who he is?
Can't see into his eyes. His eyes are closed. Now he opened them, they're black eyes.
Hmm. Do you feel you have a body here in this place?
Yeah, I think so. There's just like a group just left the cave. I think I'm one of them, like a big one, like a big, like a big, like muscle person. Like
Mhm.
I can like pound. We're leaving.
What were you doing in the cave?
I don't know. We have to get something else. Like we can't stop that old man. He's too powerful right now for us. So we have like a group that's leaving to go get something else. There's dogs with us too.
Mhm.
Uh,
The
but we're
others,
supposed to.
mhm.
It feels like we're supposed to stop him though.
What does he do?
It feels like he's keeping it, and there's these things that are keep going up the mountain to like feed feed the blue light, but they're either robotic or they're slaves. They don't want to be doing it, and there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of slaves here.
Yeah, yeah.
Describe the slaves. What do they look like?
They look like bears.
The slaves have to keep doing something, so the blue light keeps coming out of the mountain, and the sorcerer gets energy. How's the blue
Yeah,
light related to the sorcerer?
he's like keeping it for himself, and it's not his. But somehow he's using it to stop things, to control things. But he just sits up there. I don't know what he gains from it except for the power. Yeah, I guess he has some power, magical power.
What does he do? You can see, sense, feel, and know everything very clearly. What does this sorcerer do?
He he flies around and he stops time, and he's just making things cold. He turns things cold to, and then some of that essence goes to the blue light. But he's usually sitting on top of the mountain. But maybe he can bilocate because like he's doing other stuff as well. But he's like definitely has a presence on the mountain always.
You and this group of people, souls that came here, do you know these other souls that were there with you? You can see, sense, feel, and know everything very clearly. You can now tap in to see what it is that this sorcerer has done, for which you are here trying to stop him. You're there now. Describe what you sense, see, feel, and know.
He's making an army to kill everyone. Right now I don't see outside of the cave, but I see this army.
What does his army look like?
They're soldiers. They seem like kind of like the robotic knight, but they're not good. But they're robotic. They might have a consciousness, but it's being controlled.
Yes. Who's controlling them?
The sorcerer.
Mm-hmm. How did he create these robotic beings?
Something about the light. He took the light from them. It's like they are kind of like ghosts. They don't know any better. They can't think really. Yeah, it's not like they have a choice.
What has he done to you? You can see it now very, very clearly. Describe what you see. Sense, no.
Just see like the land becoming robotic and the people becoming robotic. We just don't. We just don't want to. We don't want to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
We've somehow kept safe and away from him, and we can still feel and think. So we're on a mission to free the trapped souls that are in the army or that are just robotic.
Are the others that are eating you?
I see like little pockets of light. I don't see the beings. I don't see the pockets of light. I feel them.
And these other robots, his army that are there, you said they have some bit of consciousness in them. What do they do on behalf of him? What does he do with these robots?
Yeah, it seems like it's like right now I just see them in lines inside the mountain, but like the ones that were going up the mountain are just bringing more light, just bringing the light to the big light on the top. It's like they're just kept on adding buckets full of light. But the army seems like it's like getting trained to destroy things.
And do you feel that he's had some sort of control over you?
No, not yet. No, no. We ignored him. We didn't know it was gonna happen like this.
What were you expecting?
We thought more people would ignore him.
Mhm. Do you think it is people who've let him in?
Yeah. Yeah, they had to. It was an agreement. They made an agreement with him
What sort of agreement?
to be safe. He told them that they'd be safe.
They'll be safe with what? Can you explain that further, please?
He's offering them some kind of protection from some perceived threat, some enemy.
And what do they have to give him in return for that protection?
like they have to wear a suit, some kind of suit, and when they put it on, uh, it dumbs them down. They forget.
Hmm. And what percentage of people have agreed to wear this suit?
It looks like a lot. It looks like 70 or 80%.
Mm-hmm. Where does he prepare these suits, these robots?
In the mountain. Yeah, everything's in the mountain, it seems.
Mm-hmm. You can see
It's like the
Sunsfield.
center.
You said the
It's the
center?
center of operations.
Mm-hmm. You can see very clearly where he's preparing these robotic beings. You're there now. Describe everything in detail.
There's a man. It's like putting boxes together, like reassembling pieces, twisting something like a screw on the top. Those, yeah, I don't know if that's the suit that they're wearing. Like, there's not a human in this thing, but there's a man like assembling them. It's like he's putting like the pegs on and then like the screw and twisting the screw down.
Where does the screw go from?
The screw goes from the top of the box, goes into the box. So I don't know if they put that on their head or if it's like their whole body is in the suit and the screw goes on the top of their head. Um,
So right now you're seeing the skeletal of the robot. Is that what she's describing?
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
or like the etheric thing. Like it might
Yes.
just like transplant onto them. Like I don't see an actual being like going into it. It's just
Uh-huh.
like an energetic suit.
How do they make this robot come to life? Do they have any mechanism or any like system, any like a switch, or
Mm,
how do they work on it, on bringing it to life or activate it?
mm.
Activate it. How do they activate it?
These ones, these suits are for the the humans that made made the agreement. They're somehow like exchanged. They it's like a seal, um, and so like the humans become the robots, but they're also making robots as well. And those suits, I guess they give them some of the blue light. It looks like.
So once the humans inhabit the robot within them, he's able to channel or harvest their light, which turns into the blue light for him through their energy. Is that what you say?
Yes, yes, he's able to harvest the blue light, but it looks also like he's making robots from without beings, just from the machines. And those ones, he adds blue light to them. So there's two things going on. Like there's the suits going on the humans, and then there's the suits that are becoming alive with some of the blue light.
Mm-hmm. So he's using the blue light. Can you say, is it like the consciousness perhaps of these people that he's harvesting? And then he's placing this blue light into these robots to give them some sort of like an organic form?
Yeah, yeah, it seems like that, yes.
Mm-hmm. And what does he do with the robots that he has put the blue light into?
Sends them out to harvest more light and to just keep things under control. They're like policemen
Where does he send them out?
into the towns, into the cities. They don't have to sleep.
Do they go in as robots or do they shapeshift or camouflage themselves? How come they're not seen by the souls that exist upon those planes where they are moving around?
The souls know that they're there. I can't see if they're shapeshift or if they're just in a robotic form. And that's just what it is. It's like the robots are going around as a policeman.
And what do they do? What is their job and their function?
Their function is to keep order, to make sure things are in line with the sorcerer's plan.
Mm-hmm. And what are the robot suits that he made for? Does he make it just for a particular planet, or is it the whole of the universe? Who does he do it for? The sorcerer.
Hmm. I can only see this planet or this land.
These people that have the robots in them, how do they function differently from the ones that are completely organic and do not have the robots within them?
Hmm. They can't. They can't see what's going on. They're like okay with it. They're okay with the robots controlling, and they're okay with the sorcerer. They're so it's like they have blinders on. They, yeah, they're not able to see,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not sad about it. Yeah, they're kind of they. Yeah, I guess they just don't. They don't really care about it. They're just going along.
Does he do this with just contracts that he has, which these souls have signed with him, or does he ever misuse and infringe upon other souls?
Yeah, he does infringe upon other souls. It looks like sometimes they push people down and make them put the suit on. But once they have the suit, like that person forgets about that.
Yes. Hmm. What did they do to push people down?
It looks like the robots are holding them down.
Welcome, Akinja Hila. Love you, honor you, respect you, and infinitely grateful for you. Thank you for being here. If I may ask you questions now. Beautiful. I wanted to quickly go through each one of the short glimpses that you gave her today, and then come in detail and speak about the last bit, the sorcerer that you're talking about. Can you explain? You showed her as an elephant being. Can you tell her a little bit more about that?
She wanted to be an elephant, and so she became one. And she was a she was a protector there. The
Beautiful.
robots, they were making robots too, robot elephants, but she didn't become one, but she witnessed it happening.
That's correct. And she said that there were rows and rows of elephants, like an army of elephants, and she felt like she was in the machine.
Hmm. She didn't merge with the consciousness. She looked through the machine, through the eyes of the machine, but she didn't become the machine. She she was there to learn and to be her be her true self within the system that was at that time.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. What dimension was this in?
The fourth dimension.
Are they still making robotic elephants there? And what did they use them for?
They use them to scare people in dream time. Yeah, they use them to help with fear.
Hmm. What about the dark portal that she went into and then she saw a knight in shining armor, but he also seemed robotic, like he did not have life in them. What space was that?
That was another place of of en- of entrapment. The robotic knight, like he was tied to the machine, like he was an extension of it, and somehow
Hmm.
he, yeah, I think he was just meant to be show for to scare some people away that would steal the light under the glass.
Was he organic though to our creation?
Uh, he he doesn't have consciousness, so yeah, he's technology, but
Hmm.
he's not. He doesn't have life force of his own. He can't create light.
Hmm. And she was a dragon there. She saw herself as a dragon in that realm. What was she doing? What was her role there?
harmonizer. She was bringing the color and light frequencies to the air.
What dimension was this in?
6th dimension.
Thank you. And then you showed her another portal where she could hear a lot of screams. And she said that she flew by over it like a vibration, like she was a vibration, but she could not go in because she felt it was very dense.
It's the same place.
Mm-hmm. All right. And then you showed her a tree which was divided by night and day, and with a machine that looked like a pyramid with transformers coming out of it. What land was that dimension?
That was the 3rd dimension. That was in the past.
Mm-hmm. All right. And then moving the scene along, she saw herself in a cave with a sorcerer sitting on the mountain. She was not with the sorcerer, but there was a mountain with the sorcerer sitting at the top of the mountain with blue light feeding into the sorcerer. And she spoke about the robotic beings being created here. Can you share something more about this dimension and what this is about? Thank you.
This is a parallel reality, a parallel world, a parallel Earth. It's become robotic controlled, but there's people, there's beings working to remedy the situation.
Is this also affecting our Earth in these times? People having robots within them?
Yes, because it's a parallel. When the suit goes on the robotic being in the parallel, then it affects the being's consciousness here, and they're 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 thriving, their willingness to fight for the light.
Mm-hmm. So when we remove these robotic beings from the people here on this earth, does it help to remove the robotic beings from them wherever they are, in whichever dimensions they might be in? Does it help
Yes,
to free them completely?
yes.
Beautiful. Can you tell us a little bit more about this sorcerer?
He's a collective of energies, of vamp, vampiric energies that feed off the light of the people. They get high and they don't want to die. They're really old.
The sorcerer, you mean?
Hmm.
Is the sorcerer an organic being from our universe? Where is it from?
He does. He does not have light of his own. He's made up of multiple beings that have like merged into him, but they no longer can generate their own light. They can only feed off the other light.
These multiple beings that he is made up of, are they of organic origin? Originally, are they organic from our universe?
Yes, yes. But they took out their light. They don't have light anymore.
Mm-hmm. Is there any one particular place where he manufactures these robots? Or does he have multiple places where he creates them, makes them through the machines?
Yeah, he has multiple places. He There's multiple factories. It's all underground. Underground. I just see that land, that earth, that parallel earth,
Mm-hmm.
and there's different factories.
Yes. All right. Let me see if I have more questions about this. Does the sorcerer have a genuine organic contract with these people, or has he infringed upon the free will of the souls here existing on Earth and in parallel lives?
He has a contract with some of them, but most of them are infringements.
Thank you. Is there anything else that you can share about the sorcerer or about these robotic beings? Anything that I should have asked that I didn't? in service to the collective? Thank you.
There's a way to take the suits off the humans that put the suits on. It involves going into some kind of water, holy water, and the suit loosens. So when they can breathe, then they can start breaking free of the suit. They had to break the suit themselves, it seems.
But most of them have forgotten about the suit and are unaware that they have the suit within them.
Mhm.
And as you know, that we've been seeing them recently for the past 2 months within, in the aura sessions that I've been doing. And we've been using our aura techniques to transmute and remove these robots from the beings that are stepping forth for the aura sessions. How can we help the rest of the collective that don't have a contract with him and that this being is infringing upon? Is there any way we can um, turn off the robots from the main circuit, the main point, and transmute it as they sleep?
It seems like the truth needs to come out, that because people have no awareness that the robots are inside. And so as the truth comes out, then the knowing comes, and then the vigilance comes, and people can help remove the robots from each other. And the water, something about the water, that there's a body of water that people can go to.
Mhm. Can you explain how people can help each other once the truth is out? How people can help each other to remove the suits, and then also explain where is this body of water and what can be done with that aspect with the elements. Thank you.
People can help each other by learning how to remove the technology, which takes practice. But as more learn how to do it, then it becomes easier, and people will be able to feel it and spot it faster. There's going to be a movement of beings that are liberators, liberating from the artificial, liberating from the technology that was placed within them, infringed upon them, and it will become obvious, and more will seek training and seek to be of assistance to these beings, the liberators. And the body of water seems like salt, like all salt water can assist. Soaking in salt water in the bathtub, going in the ocean, all of that helps to dampen the power of the artificial, the robotic within the human.
Yes. Mhm. Do they need to make any intentions and state any intentions to go with the healing through the waters?
Yes. Call on Mother. Call on Mother to transmute through the salt and the water, to soften, to create space for them to feel again, to feel, to feel Mother, to feel the pulse beneath their feet, and to soak the water in their being.
Beautiful. Thank you. And the ones that we've removed through the aura sessions, once they were removed, can we be assured that that sorcerer would not place any more robots in those beings anymore, provided they shield themselves and assert their "I do not consent"?
Yes, yes. The angelics can put seals after they're removed that prevent further
Hmm.
being taken over,
Beautiful.
further attachment, further, there's a word that's like encompassment, but that's not it. It's
Encasement?
encasement, but the infiltration, the infringement,
Right. Uh-huh.
the bringing it back. It can't attach anymore.
Beautiful. And what is the connection between these robots and the matrix, the negative AI matrix?
It's like a more developed matrix plug. Just the human starts identifying with it, and because the robot can control more, um, it's it's more effective for the matrix. The soul gets really lost inside.
Yes. We also noticed through the sessions that I had that most of the souls that had these robotic attachments, they received them in extreme traumatic events in their lifetimes. How do the negative dark beings keep a tab of that when someone's going through a traumatic event and then to use that as an opportunity?
It's a spike in the energy field, a spike of darkness, and so it's like a portal. It is a portal. It gets so low, it's like, yeah, it sounds an alarm.
Can I ask one or two more questions and then we can?
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Now, my other question is, in terms of, I know that time does not exist, but how long, how far back does this go? This experiment, these robots that were placed into humans.
100 years,
Hmm.
but it became more popular the last 10, 20 years.
Hmm. Is it like an updated weapon or like something that they're using against the humans that they just came up with? They created it because of how the humans were also liberating themselves in a way from the matrix.
Yes, yes. It seemed to correspond with the rise of technology in the collective. Like, it corresponds with the phones. The phones have helped to make people feel robotic. So it's not as noticeable, like when it enters, because people are plugged in so much.
Yes. Could there also have been people who've had this in a previous lifetime, since it's just 100 years old or so? Someone who had it in a previous lifetime and is born again, became
Yeah,
born again maybe?
yeah, the experimentals, yes,
Hmm.
yes.
Thank you. Thank you for answering these questions. Do you have anything else to share about these robotic beings and this sorcerer?
I I know that you all will free the humans. It's it's happening. It will become easier. They something the technique will become simpler, and it will be more easy for people to free each other.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for stating that. Can they also ask for assistance, say, once they are more aware of the robot, apart from doing the saltwater baths? Can they also ask for assistance from their benevolent galactic soul families to free them from
Yes,
this attachment and sleep time?
yes, yes,
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that because that has been my biggest worry ever since, I discovered them within people as to how we could get, because you're just doing one session at a time, and how we can go ahead and do this for the whole collective, especially for the ones that are not even aware of it.
yes. Dream time. Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you. I have one last question before we move on from this topic. So if you're turning off the robots and dismantling them and transmuting them from within the people here, how can we make sure that the consciousness of theirs and their energy that was used to plant into the other robot, because he had two types of factories, what do we do with the other lot where he's harvested their energies and placed them into robots?
Soul retrieval. They have the power to pull it back to them. Once they're freed, they can pull it out of the other robot.
Beautiful. And can this be done by people themselves as well, by just intending, for asking for Archangel
Yes,
helps? Yes, beautiful.
yes.
Beautiful. Thank you for doing that. What happens to the robot that's there then in that case in those timelines once the soul has been retrieved? What happens to it then?
It's non-functional, so it's it falls to the ground. It's scrap. gets resourced to something else.
And do the dark beings that are creating them, does it come into their awareness?
Yeah, I mean, if enough of them fall down, yeah, they would notice that for sure. Yeah, but they can't stop it. So
Mhm. Thank you. If it's okay with you, we have a body scan now. Would you like to body scan and heal yourself, or do you need assistance from another angel to join you?
I would like to call on Archangel Metatron.
Beautiful. Is there anything else that needs to be done within her, Archangel Metatron, or are we complete as far as the healing goes?
We're complete.
Okay. Archangel Metatron, can I quickly ask you one more question about the robots?
Yes.
Okay. What happens to the babies of parents who have robots in them? So if the parents have robots within them, can the baby still be born organic with no robot
Mm,
attached?
yes. Yes, it can be.
And do the parents, because most of them are unaware, do they have, how does that happen?
The wombs are very protected by mother. So the babies are very protected, and yet some of them do take on negative technology to be able to sync with the resonance of their parent. And so some of them do come out, but not with full robots. But some come out with technology in them.
Mhm.
Mm.
Thank you for sharing that, Archangel Metatron. And this sorcerer that you showed us, of course, then in that case, can those babies can be healed over time if we don't expose them to too much technology. Is that correct, Archangel Metatron?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Thank you.
Mm.
Now, the sorcerer that she saw, Archangel Metatron, in that experience there, in the visit, is it just one being or is it representing a collective?
It's a collective of beings.
Mhm.
It's archons and beings working for the archons.
Is it not possible, Archangel Metatron, to just break the machine and the factories that they're manufacturing and making these robots at in these
Mm.
timelines?
Yeah, it's possible to break it now. They might fix it, but yes, we can break them now.
Can you break them now, Archangel Metatron?
Yes.
Thank you. Can you tell me how you're doing that?
Archangel Michael is just slicing them up
Okay,
with a sword.
thank you. And as he does that, is it going to switch off the robots that are in people?
Hmm.
Is it going to disconnect the robots too?
No, no. They're all kind of connected to the sorcerer now. That's
Mhm.
between them and them. But as far as like the production of the technology, we can stop that.
Yes, if
But
you can do that now.
yes, yes, that's done.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for doing that. And can nothing be done so they don't come up with the factory once more?
Not that I see at this time.
Okay, all right. And what can be, is there anything that can be done to the robots that are within people to minimize its effects or,
We can help by opening their senses so that their higher self can come through more.
yes, that would be
As they
beautiful.
become more aware, yeah, it's possible to open their awareness despite the technology.
Beautiful. Can we do that now, Kinja Marishan?
Yes.
Beautiful. Let's do that now, please. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's done. It's ongoing.
Yes.
It's like
Thank
a
you.
spark. There's like sparks in their crown chakra. And so the light will keep coming through no matter how much infringement and intensity. They can't stop the light from coming through. Mhm.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Kinja Marishan.